Sup, witches? Celeste the Silver Cord here. We're going to be going over the Imbolc, and we're going to be going, which is February 1st to February 2nd. It is sun up February 1st to sun up February 2nd. That's how traditional Celtic holidays always work, sun up to sun up, right? We're going to be going over the astrology. I'm going to be going over some of the goddesses, some of the traditions, and then we are going to be doing a reading with my goddess deck, my earth magic oracle cards, my oracle cards designed by my friend Sarah over at the Zen Den, and then I got my practical witches magic deck and my magic making symbols deck, and we'll do a little reading with those. I also, at the end, I'm going to add on just a little tutorial, little quick thing on how to make really simple little corn husk dolls, because this is also the time of year that we do that. Sorry, scam likely as always. Alrighty, so let's dive right into the astrology. We have got the sun and the moon at 12 degrees of Aquarius. Now that's bringing in the number 3, really, with that energy, right? For numerology. And 3 is all about learning to deal with separation, preparing for changes, new partnerships, and new collaborations, right? It really turns it in. There's a lot of hope and reflection and enlightenment being really highlighted in these areas, especially as we come out of these retrogrades and into this new energy that's birthing out this year, right? And it's just highlighting a lot of things, right? On relationships in general, relationships, friendships, things of that nature. Equal give and take, who helps you, who doesn't help you, who tends to cause drama, who's nothing but drama, things of that nature. Just as the goddess stirs within the earth and arises, this is the things that your intuition is really pinging on, and you should really be paying attention to what has happened over the last few months with this Venus retrograde and this Mercury retrograde, because that has been highlighting any areas that you need work. I always say retrogrades are only detrimental to you if you are having issues in which that you will refuse to face, refuse to see, refuse to acknowledge, right? If you're making healthy changes and doing your proper shadow work, retrogrades really just kind of come and go. You might get a little hiccup here and there, but it doesn't derail your whole train every time, right? All right, we got Saturn at 15 bringing 6, also in Aquarius, right? And this is just highlighting areas of where you realize that you need to create new structures, things that you need to shift control in, bringing a lot of transitions and progress, right? There's a lot of highlighting and transitions here, right? There's a lot of looking back and trying to see the innocence of what has gone down, right? And being giving and caring while you're making these transitions. It doesn't always have to be cruel, right? Setting healthy boundaries doesn't mean you have to be mean, right? And it's highlighting a lot of that area, rite of passage of learning how to be responsive without being reactive, right? All right, so in Pisces, we have got Jupiter at 7, and Jupiter at 7, and Pisces is all about revealing secrets, right, through your intuition. So your intuition has brought these secrets to the forefront, and as you travel through, there's going to be a lot of expanding your mindset through persevering through these deceptions, right? You're going to be breaking through illusions to see where you should invest, right? And who you should invest in. You got Neptune at 21 degrees, bringing in the number 3 as well. And Neptune's all about your intuition, right? So this is all about your intuition is very loud on who and what needs to stay in your life and who and what really needs to be let go of. Healthy boundaries really need to be drawn up, and how much this person is allowed to engage in your energy, right? Or these things are allowed to engage in your energy, right? We've got Taurus here. Taurus has Uranus at 10, bringing in 1 and 10. Uranus is all about bringing in a lot of enlightenment as well, right? After the truths have been revealed as to what cycles need to be closed out and what new cycles you'd like to start, right? You need to end certain cycles, begin new cycles, right? And that is really what this is going to be highlighting a lot of. The North Node has officially switched from the twin Gemini sign into Taurus as well. And Taurus's sign is always about truth seeking as well, right? So I got the message of the truth will set you free even if it hurts. The truth will also set others free even if it hurts. Sometimes we need to stop worrying about hurting each other's feelings so much, because in the long run, when you just don't say how you genuinely feel, that's how you end up hurting somebody's feelings, because you allow them to create an illusion that's not real, right? And then you have to come in at some point and say, no, that's not what this is, right? Or this is what this is, or this is what I thought this was. You need to be able to be open and honest in these new areas, right? And you need to see, right? If someone's not being clear and honest with you, understand that a non-answer is an answer, right? A non-choice is a choice. Not making a choice is a choice. And accept those truths within yourself as well, right? What do we got? Now we got a ton in Capricorn, right? And the Capricorn is the devil card. It's about intimidation, addiction. It comes with a lot of the energy of Saturn as well, but which is all about control and structure, right? Addictions can control you, can control your behaviors, your mindset, your thought that can make you more manipulative, or they can make you more easy to manipulate. So a lot of people are manipulated through their addictions, all right? So just keep that in mind when I read through the other planets here, right? You got Mars at 5. 5 is all about those conflicts, right? 5 in everyone, it's conflict, it's strife, it's bereavement, it's insecurity, it's poverty, right? It's worrying about all of that. And the warrior can fall slave to these addictions and base desires and toxic connections, and you can end up fighting for them or you can end up fighting against them. But the whole thing is you're moving out of a place of fear, of worry, of lack. So be very, very mindful that you're not allowing that reactive side of you to be the one that's mostly engaging, because right underneath it, you have Venus right there with it at 11, right? And 11 is one of the master numbers, right? Venus is the lover. They're curious. They're passionate. They learn how to follow their synchronicities towards manifesting their new timelines, right? Instead of focusing so much on, especially since other people are going to be very reactive with Mars being where it is and everything, you're going to have to face that it's your choice to interact with the fear or whether to interact with love and following your genuine synchronicities, right? Instead of ignoring your synchronicities and falling into a depression and falling back into addictions and falling into things that, because you can't control these other things around you, and especially with these toxic connections, you don't want to see them and everything else. Instead of engaging with that, you can choose to focus on where is the love coming from? Where is the synchronicities pointing you towards? What timeline do you genuinely want for yourself? Stop worrying about what everybody else in the world wants. What genuine timeline do you want for yourself? What genuinely makes you happy? What genuinely brings you into that Ace of Cups energy, right? We got Mercury still going to be in retrograde. We're getting close to the post shadow, right? This is coming in with 24, bringing in that 6 again. 6, once I always say, is the rite of passage card. This is if you're going to fight your own demons. If you're going to break something, break your own toxic cycles, right? Or you can choose to repeat, but clear communication is going to be the key, right? You have to be able to be clearly communicating. Also, you also have to accept that because it is in retrograde, that even if you clearly communicate over and over and over and over and over again, someone who is determined not to accept what you're saying because it completely goes against what they want their reality to be, you have to learn how to accept and how to just disengage with the person, because that is the cycle that you are being questioned to repeat. What, are you going to continuously have the same fight, same argument with the same person over and over again every Mercury retrograde, right? What, that's 3 times a year. That's a lot of arguing. It's a lot of arguing. If you notice that that's a cycle, then you need to figure out where that cycle is coming from, what triggers it, and how you end up in those cycles, right? And then you can choose to break them. Right, we got Pluto. Also, it's at 26, 8. That's kind of the infinity. I always told you, right? There's always that double cycle that we keep making, right? It's an undercurrent, kind of like an undertow. It's imprisonment. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Imprisonment or change, escapism or education, right? You can choose to say you are stuck, or you can choose to start making moves to unstick yourself, right? You can choose to indulge in things like video games and Facebook and Instagram and nonsense. I mean, unless it's your job stuff, or in things that are just distracting, or you can choose to educate yourself in new areas to make genuine changes in your life. The choice is up to you, right? With the imprisonment or the change thing, with it being with Pluto being the undercurrent, right? There's always this lesson when you grow up on a coastal area, right? When you learn about undertows and they tell you that, the biggest mistake people do is you fight the undertow, right? Biggest mistake you can make is fighting the undertow. You don't fight it. It's a cylinder. It circles. Everything circles. It's all circles, y'all, right? So you just let it pull you down. It eventually pulls you back up. Where people get stuck is it starts to pull you down. You start trying to pull up where it's pulling down. You're fighting a current. It's going to wear you out. You allow it to pull you, it will pull you back up. Also, you don't try to swim straight towards shore. You flow with the current and you slowly angle yourself to shore. If you watch the waves on a beach, you'll notice that is how they naturally roll. You'll see them. They all naturally roll in at a slight angle, and eventually about 100 yards down, that one wave line goes in, right? So that's really what it's telling you, right? You can fight these currents and fight these changes and fight what's going on, or you can try to flow as evenly as you can with it, all right? All right, so that's all the planets for Imbolc. So let's get into some of the messages of Imbolc, right? Imbolc is all about planting seeds, which is beautiful that a new moon is falling on this holiday, because the new moon is all about seeds of intention. You're not supposed to cast intentions on full moons. I try to explain this to people. The moon is about to go into its dark phase, right? So on a full moon, you want to focus on things you want to release. And then as the moon goes dark, it fades away those things for you. This is a time for planting seeds of intention, things that you want to come into fruition, things that you want to water and nurture and bring into your life, right? Imbolc is the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. The meaning of Imbolc means in the belly of the mother, but because the seeds are beginning to move within the earth. I was wondering why I've been having all these dreams about babies, right? And stuff like that lately, and eggs for some reason. I'm like, duh. Imbolc, right? Omlik is also a word similar to Imbolc that's also used around this time of year, and this means the ooze milk, because the pregnant animals are beginning to lactate. Those that are getting ready to give birth in spring are starting to produce milk now, right? Everything is starting to prepare for spring. Northern Hemisphere. Sorry, y'all, that's just where I am, right? So everything is getting ready to birth back into spring, right? Things are starting to get ready to bloom. Your cold weather plants are on the verge of budding, things like that, right? Well, I'm in the South too, so I get it a little earlier than you guys. But it's getting ready to. The things are stirring. A big image for Imbolc is like tulips blooming out through the snow, right? The traditional dinner for this time of year usually incorporates potatoes, because those are the easiest to harvest, right? And store for the winter. And fresh butter, because milk is starting to become available again, right? Also, it said that also is followed by apple cakes and tea, which are also, apples would have been one of the last things harvested, right? And then tea is used usually for divination, because the main goddess of Imbolc is Bridgette, right? And Bridgette is the goddess of poets, arts, crafts, prophecy, and divination. So if you wanted to do any sort of divining, this is the holiday to do it in. This is the time to do it in. If you are not sure what direction you want to go into, now would be the time to make you some divination tea, right? Might actually try to find that specific spell out for you from my little deck here, because I saw it the other day. Right? We've got the Bridgette Cross. Now, because this holiday still lands in the middle of winter and spring, it's still cold and people are still using fires to keep warm, at least traditionally, right? And the Bridgette's Cross is for the home's protection. It protects the home against fire and evil, right? When you make them and hang them over your door. Now, I didn't use reeds because it's hard to find reeds around here. I used seagrass to make mine. Other people also have used hay, is fairly is used usually too as well. Just anything that's kind of malleable that you can bend into the shape, right? For kids, you can use pipe cleaners, a really easy, fun way to make colorful versions of this. Yeah, and they're great to make and give as little gifts to people. And yeah, protect against fire and evil eye, things of that nature, especially as you're trying to cut these toxic connections. Wouldn't be a bad idea to make you some, right? Also, families would also gather up supplies for making dolls, crosses. You would usually gather up these things the day before the 1st, which would be today. But you could do it during the 1st as well. You know, before the Gregorian calendar, you do these things on the moons anyway, right? So don't stress that too much if you didn't get to it then, right? It's real easy. You can pick up corn husks at the store. You'll find them in your Hispanic, Mexican, or international section of your local grocery store. You'll find the corn husks. And these are so simple to make, y'all. They're very simple. They're very cute. You can decorate them with all little flowers and stuff that you find around your house. You can decorate them with yarn like I did this one here. Decorate them with leaves and things like that. The only thing I would say is super glue doesn't work. If you want to do anything really, really elaborate, you're going to need hot glue, right? I'll just give you a little sneak peek. This is my big girl that I made for Salad, but I brought her out since we were talking about, see? And you can go as fancy or as simple as you want. In her case, I made her big billowy sleeves and a hat and hair and all that good jazz, right? Up to you how intricate you want to get with these things and how much fun you want to have, right? I stand her in a cup so that she stands up, right? All right, so that is all the traditions for Bridgette and the basic Celtic traditions for the holiday, right? Now, throughout the millennia and throughout time, as things progressed, right, Valentine's Day came more into play, and it does tie into this holiday as well. I'll do more on just the Valentine's Day, closer to Valentine's Day. But here are here we go. Here are some of the other goddesses or gods that you can use for this holiday if Bridgette doesn't relate to you, right? If Celtic doesn't really call to you, what else can you use for this type of holiday? Here are some of the other gods and goddesses that they use, mostly goddesses that they use around the world that they celebrate on this midpoint to spring, right? On this turn of the wheel. We got Ardea, the Italian. She's an Italian goddess. She's the virgin daughter of Diana, right? Kind of Persephone-ish version, right? We got Anagus. He's Celtic. He's the young god. I like this one. I wrote down his little story too. He was a young god of love who tried to save his love along with 150 other captured females, all cursed to turn into swans for half the year. He was only allowed to marry his love if he was able to identify her as a swan. I had no idea that the Swan Princess was such an ancient tale, right? We also have Aphrodite, the Greek goddess, obviously. Love, beauty. Also, she has that toxic dark side, right? She's manipulative. She likes to, Aphrodite's always meddling in other people's affairs. She could be very toxic if she wants to be, right? So she's got that balance of light and dark if that's more what you're into. We got Bas, the Egyptian goddess of the domestic guardian house cats, right? We got Ceres, the Roman goddess of crops. We got Ceridwen, the Celtic goddess of the cauldron of knowledge and prophecy. Very good one to call on if you were going to plan on doing any type of divination tea or mirror divination, or especially with the cauldron, if you wanted to do water divination, that would be a good goddess to call on. We got Diana. We got Gaia, the Greek divine mother of all things on earth. You got Venus, the Roman goddess of beauty and fertility. And we got Vesta, the Roman keeper of the sacred flame and guardian of the home and hearth, that you can also call upon. Alrighty, so let's get into a bit of a reading here to go along with this. Let's see what we got. Just do a quick little reading. We're just going to do a 1-5 card spread with the oracle cards here, just as an Imbolc message for everybody. And then I'll go ahead and let y'all go about your day. Go see if you can find some corn husks and what you can. I would say too, I mean, if you are going to go and buy the corn husks, you can go ahead and just make yourself tamales too. Cheese and stuff like that. Very big with the milk coming in, right? That's another big part. Ooh, we got Vision Quest, right? Prophecy and divination, Vision Quest. And we got Winds of Activation, right? Spring is a windy season, so that does bring that in. That was quick. I feel like these are in fast forward right now. Got my feet on today. We've got the Sun card here. The golden energy of the Sun brings fame and fortune. We got the Earth as the element of Earth for grounding, stability, and strength in these times of chaos. And we got achievement. Win the award, the accolade, or the contract. Nice. We'll do, let's see what comes out in the spell cards here. Divining decisions. Wow. Wow. I love it. I love it so much. I mean, this stuff just tickles me because it's hysterical to me. Many witches carry a pendulum. Ooh, for divination, very good. I didn't even think to mention the pendulum. Many witches carry a pendulum with them to help them make decisions. Take a strong string or a length of leather and tie a ring, a gemstone, a crystal to the end. By the light of the new moon, oh my God, right? Take a bundle of sage, light one end, and pass the smoke over your pendulum, smudging and purifying your space. Holding this pendulum, chant, guide me to the path of truth. Goddess, hear my song. This pendulum I charge with my energy to judge right from wrong, so mote it be. Anytime you need advice, making a decision, dangle the pendulum and observe its movement. Swaying from front to back means yes. Swaying from left to right means no. I can't make this up. I love it. Oh. So there's people like, why do you keep doing this? I like it. I love it. They trip me out. My cards are always tripping me out, y'all. Always and forever. Even if it's really frustrating sometimes. I can't even help but get stupid. I'm sorry if I squealed at you. Sorry if I squealed at you. Ooh, okay. Okay. There. Just wanted to kick those two out, I guess. What are they? Oh no. All right. One more. All right. I'm not going to tell you what those two cards that fell out first yet, because this main spread has a bunch of reverse, and I just want to get into it, okay? There is a huge highlight. This is my goddess deck, right? My goddess deck. Where's my book? Where's the book? Goddess, right? Mostly feminine cards, okay? I have the Nine of Pentacles here. Where your attention and focus goes is where your energy is flowing, right? I've got a narcissistic King of Pentacles here. This is reversed. This is someone who is pseudo-controlling, cannot change their mindset, will not change their ways, will find every excuse to be the shit show that they are, and will never give you a moment's peace. They will be super controlling in any way, shape possible that they can. In the middle, we've got the Sun. This is the only male god in my deck. And really, it's highlighting the Zorro, right? The Zorro are the ones that take care of Apollo, right? The bringer of knowledge. These are the three sisters that take care of him, right? This is the reverse, right? This is the reverse. This is toxic energy. This is toxic energy. This is not taking care, not being appreciative of being taken care of. Not being appreciative of being taken care of, right? You say it again. Not being appreciative of being taken care of, right? Toxic masculine energy, right? That's that mindset. No, I'm not even going to get into that. Okay. Also, we got the King of Staves reverse. Who's this? This is someone who thinks with their D. This is the habitual cheater. This is the someone who uses sex against you. This is someone who uses sex to manipulate. This is someone who uses extreme, toxic, masculine, sexual energy, right? So you got toxic controlling. This guy is the one who'll shake you. He'll shake you. He'll shake you. He'll bounce you up against the wall, punch the wall next to your head. That's who this guy is, right? This is the one who, no matter what you do, it's never going to be fucking good enough for him. It'll never be good enough for him. Say it again. Doesn't matter what you do, baby doll. You can lose 100 pounds. You can become an Instagram model. Actually, you're never going to be allowed to be an Instagram model because this fucking energy will not let you do that, right? This person doesn't care. They want you barefoot in the kitchen, pregnant, cooking for them, and they are never going to say thank you, and everything you cook tastes like shit. This one uses your sexuality against you, uses sex against you, and is probably cheating on you, right? These are very, very toxic energies. This one I'm also getting, there's been a lot of research coming out lately on how like Snapchat and Instagram and everything else like that has created these pseudo narcissistic males that are just like, there's so many fish in the sea, and they have figured out how to fish the system that it doesn't matter how much attention you give them. What? There's 15 other fucking chicks giving them attention. What? They have a list they say good morning to. Just putting that out there, right? It is time for you to change your viewpoints and start moving away from these energies. What? It doesn't matter how much this person has in their bank account. It doesn't matter how much this person has in their life. It doesn't matter how big their house is. It doesn't matter how much money they have. It doesn't matter how good looking they are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is time to take leaps of faith. This is the goddess Tara. She is the goddess of music and knowledge, right? Music and knowledge. And it is time for, it's also the Fool card. So it is time for new beginnings, right? New beginnings, new mindsets, right? Escapism or education. Educate yourself on what you're dealing with, right? So that way you can recognize the signs when you see them popping up in these toxic individuals. All right. So what are you going to get if you decide to make these new beginnings? If you decide to cut the toxic cords, if you decide to shift where you're putting your energy towards, if you decide to make this big shift, if you decide to make this leap, what will happen? You find this trucker. Why didn't you see him before? Because he didn't want the attention. He didn't want all that, right? He's just sitting over there. The King of Cups is all about sitting quiet and balanced in his own energy. In every deck, you will find him sitting still, focused on his own cup, his own responsibilities. He is someone who understands he is careful on who he gives his cup to, because he understands some people could spit in it, spill it, mess it up, ruin it for him. So he doesn't give it to everybody. But they are always searching to give it to somebody. But they want somebody who's worth it, right? They're not going to want to give their cup to somebody who is also good morning 5 other people, who's also throwing themselves at a bunch of other people, who also they call that person up for something and that person can't come, so they turn around, well, if you won't take me out for Valentine's Day, I'll find someone else who will. If you can't take me, just whatever. I remember in high school one time, my boyfriend had a BMX thing and he couldn't take me to a dance. I didn't go with somebody else, right? That's the kind of thing that they're looking for. They're looking for someone who, understands life, right? The 2 of Cups there, look at it. Is a divine soul connection. They're looking for a divine soul connection. Not a manipulative, not a toxic, not focused on the wrong things, all right? I'm going to read these ones for you guys. just because I've been liking reading the meetings. I love the way that she just put them, right? All right, so we're going to get into Desert Vision Quest here, right? Desert Vision Quest. 44, of course. The 44 is a big number for you. All right. In this arid climate zone that we call the desert, images shift and change throughout the day, yet always maintain a sharp and defined presence. Those hardy species of flora and fauna have found a home in the desert and have adapted over eons and to the relative harshness that strong characteristics of this land, of these lands. Throughout history, we have passed down many stories of people wandering the desert, often about religious figures and ascended masters who journeyed there to return to their people with remarkable visions. The desert is an ideal place to seek visions, or more accurately, to allow visions to come to you. The quiet and peace of such an environment is conducive to the solitude required that it takes to have these profound experiences. Spending time in a region without the usual accoutrements of the civilized world can be presented in survival challenges, or at least seem to. In this, you can rightfully be called the spirit quest, where through the steadiness and the seemingly bleak environment, it becomes possible to receive direct guidance from spirit eternally and in the world around you. A vision quest is a process whereby you spend a few days in the wilderness alone. Typically, you carry only water and some sacred items with you and spend most of your time praying and meditating. Many who have completed a vision quest assert that it is a powerful and even life-changing experience and report vivid, profound revelations. It is said that the desert does not lie, so partaking in this can help you discover the truth about your purpose and at least give you some clues. It is time for you to go on a vision quest. Designate a place in nature to which to dwell, whether for a couple of hours or for a few days. Spend the majority of your time while there praying and meditating. It is best to be in a location where you can truly find solitude, even if it's the quiet corner of a park for an afternoon where you can go and take your questions and concerns or challenge with you into prayer or meditation. Allow it to float around you in your consciousness and watch what shows up. This is one of the more powerful cards. By drawing it, whatever other messages you may receive will be amplified threefold. All right, we got winds of activation. Amplified threefold. Where's the wind? 152. 8 infinity. All right. Various currents of the air circulate. My sound should still be recording, right? I hope it is. All right. Various currents of the air that circulate our planet can be gentle enough to tickle the hairs on our arms and so fierce that they destroy man-made structures as well as trees and other vegetation. Wind moves and air circulates the atmosphere and keeps it from becoming stagnant. When there is no movement, the atmosphere feels somehow heavier. Gentle breezes help control the land and pollinate flowers, whereas more tempestuous winds can snap tree branches off and stir something deeply within us. More violent winds can create temporary chaos with their ferocity. No matter what degree of intensity the wind will activate us. This image, the breath of the god of wind, stirs the seas and rearranges the sky. As this occurs, the weather shifts. The effects in even small areas send ripples throughout the blending and dancing with the water and the sky. It activates the atmosphere and the world feels more alive. Where the world feels more alive where there is wind. I'm sorry, I noticed that my microphone was unplugged. I thought it was off for a second, but it's unplugged, so you should still be able to hear me. I was about to say, oh, don't tell me that none of this sound recorded. I was going to be very upset. Of course, being looked out after. Synchronicities, y'all, synchronicities. Anyway, sorry, let me get back to your message. The lethargy you feel is a result of lack of activation. In other words, something that stirs in your senses. This could be anything from walking outdoors, feeling the breeze on your body, or inhaling different aromas of the nature that nature provides. Or it could be finding the pleasure in the warmth of a bath that helps you release the tension and stress from your mind and body. Music may activate your hearing, which sparks pleasure centers in your brain. Art may activate the emotional responses. Touch of another human may activate a deep need to be physically held in some manner once again. Now it is time for action. Engage in some activity and be fully present so that you forget about your surroundings and enter into a timeless, multidimensional experience of union with focus of your creative attention. Let your physical body be active. Movement alone, whether quietly dancing by yourself or hiking up a hill over yonder, will require you to be as present as possible in your body. Enjoy. It says one of the biggest things I learned when dealing with chronic pain and things like that and going through all the yoga and stuff that I went through, it was really that there's so much importance in being really active in your body and really mindful of your body, mindful of its movements, mindful of when you're hurting it, mindful of when it's tired, mindful of when it's active, especially for the feminines. I mean, this is one of the holidays that highlight the goddess and how she cycles, right? You know, the goddess goes through her sleeping times and her wakeful times and her more active times. Got Sly here. I like this. I actually did one of the projects I remember doing when I was younger was on the black-footed ferret. So you might want to look up the symbolism of ferrets and weasels. Go along with the astrology that we got today. All right, we got the Sun card. I'll hold these up for a second each so you can screenshot them if you need to if you want to use these symbols, right? We got the golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. Basic sun symbol, right? We got Earth. Ask the element of Earth for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos with all that's going on. Pretty easy one to remember if you know your basic elements, right? We got achievement here. Win the award, the accolade, or the contract. I get a big sense that a lot of people are being held back usually, and it's because they're tied in toxic webs with other people. So as you're cutting free of these things and as you're changing your directions and routes and stuff like that, always understand what was the main goal that you were going for, right? All right. Oh, I already read this, so I'm just going to hold this up so that you can screenshot it if you want it. All right. I will also be posting these cards up in the silver cord. I guess I will go and get those links and put them down in the below for you. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Blessed in bulk, blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love you guys very, very much. If you want to, stick around and I'm going to share my little speed video of me making the dolls so you guys can see how to make them and how easy they are. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun today, all right? Yeah, talk to you later. Oh, buttons and bells.